evening to you all. How are you keeping this evening? It's such an amazing time to be here. How are you? I missed you guys last week. And I'm sure I listened to the session last week and it was such an amazing session. I am so happy to have learned about debt and I hope you took away something. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Get It Right with Atara Solutions. Now, Get It Right with Atara Solutions is a webinar series that seeks to demystify issues in employment and entrepreneurship. We do this every Tuesday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. and we have quite diverse conversations around different things that affect you in your workplaces. And my name is Grace Nzula. I'm the host of Get It Right with Atara Solutions. I'm a HR consultant with Atara Solutions, and I'm also a training facilitator. Now, Atara Solutions is a HR consulting and training company. We offer 4 services. We have learning and development, which includes team building, it includes coaching, it includes personalized sessions, as well as your corporate sessions. And if you're looking to have fun or organize learning events for your organization, we can help you do that from end to end. And then we also offer recruitment and selection. If you're looking to fill positions, you can get in touch with us and we will remove that burden off you. We also do HR consulting, which involves HR audits, job evaluations, salary surveys, among others. We also do HR manager outsourced. HR manager outsourced is a service for those organizations that don't want to have a full-time HR. They want to outsource their human resource department. We are able to support you in that. Now, with me are 2 of my co-hosts, and I will allow Richard to introduce himself, and then I will introduce our sign language interpreter, Madam Catherine Sidandi. Richard.
Grace, good evening. How are you doing? It is good to have you back after you had a break. It is going to be a fantastic evening, so that learn a lot of things. And one of the things I love about when you introduce this particular episode is demystify, make it clear, make it easy,
Get it right.
Get it right, straight away. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Richard J. Magoma. I am a HR practitioner, but most importantly, what I do is interview preparation and public speaking training. If you're having those difficulties of missing a job because you didn't know how to speak very well, I am your man. But tonight, we are here to learn about patient.
All right. Richard has hung, I think. We cannot hear you, Richard. You're just... Anywho, so, oh yeah, that was funny in sign language. Interesting. Right. So we have Catherine Sidandi. Catherine Sidandi is our sign language interpreter. Catherine Sidandi help us be inclusive. Thank you very much, Catherine, for being here. Thank you for the work you do. Now, Catherine, if you don't know, is also a social worker, and she's currently looking for employment. So if you know an organization that requires a social worker, then you need to get in touch with us so that you can support Catherine Sidandi get something for herself as well. But she does an amazing job in sign language. So if you have those opportunities as well, please engage Catherine Sidandi. She'll be happy to support you. And let's be inclusive. Let's run events that are inclusive. Let's run learning and development that's very inclusive. Now, allow me to give a shout out to those partners who we work with. So that then we bring our speaker for the day here. I know today is about money. We have done quite a lot about money. And I see that we need to do more on pension schemes because I think for those of you who are growing a bit old, there are things that you wish you started when you were younger. But nonetheless, here we are. So we have Nile Front Cottages. Nile Front Cottages are cottages located in Jinja, Kampala. If you're in Jinja or you're in Nairobi or you're in Kenya and you would like to drive down to Jinja, you actually can. It's about 2 hours from Busia border. If you're in Kampala and the Uganda environs, you can always drive down to Jinja. Nile Front Cottages are some very beautiful cottages near where the River Nile meets Lake Victoria. The views there are to die for, I tell you. Then we have Profiles International. Profiles International are those, they offer psychometric assessments. If you're looking for psychometric assessments for your team, if you're looking to become a certified emotional intelligence coach, you need to join Profiles International. They're the only people who offer Genos Emotional Intelligence coaching sessions, a certification. And then we have K-Square HR Services. K-Square HR Services are our partners in Rwanda. K-Square HR Services are a HR consulting company based in Rwanda. If you have any need in Rwanda, then you need to get in touch with K-Square HR Services. They'll be able to support you. They're also running quite a number of trainings this year, and we'll be able to share that with you. We have Steadfast Quality Solutions. Steadfast Quality Solutions is a HR and public relations consulting company located in Kampala, Uganda. This is our partner in Uganda. It is under the leadership of my good friend, Herbert Zake. Herbert Zake is a Gallup certified executive coach who has coached over 500 executives. Can you imagine that? And if you're looking for a coach, then Herbert Zake would be your person. If you're looking for someone to train your boards or do board evaluations, then again, Steadfast Quality Solutions will be able to support you in that. We have AAR Insurance for all your medical scheme, your WIBA. If you're renewing your WIBA, if you're looking for medical insurance, then AAR will be able to support you in that. We also have Hotel Sapphire. Hotel Sapphire is located in Mombasa. If you're looking for a place to host your conferences, if you're looking for a place to host your meetings, if you're looking for a place to just go and have an amazing time, they have a beautiful band that plays on Fridays. It is such an amazing, you'll have fun there, I tell you. And now they have introduced games night on Sunday night. So if you're down at the coast, please visit Hotel Sapphire. Drop my name and say that you're here courtesy of Grace and get some amazing discounts. And then we have Tufaa Resort. Tufaa Resort is located in Nanyuki. Now, this is one of the newest places in Nanyuki. It is so beautiful and serene. I loved my time at Tufaa, and we're likely to have our road trip down in April, down into Tufaa Resort. You can check them out online. It is such a beautiful facility, so do not be left wondering what you're doing on Valentine's Day. Drive down to Tufaa and you're going to enjoy and love it. And then we have Panessa Training Institute. If you are looking to become a carpenter or you're looking to understand woodworking, then Panessa Training Institute, please sign up. They sometimes have offers in terms of scholarship, but most importantly, they have flexible classes, so you can actually be customized for your classes for you. And then we have Port Saco for all your Saco needs. If you're looking to join a Saco and you want one of the best Sacos we have in the country, then Port Saco will be able to do that. And then we have Sotet Kinyumbani. Sotet Kinyumbani is a restaurant located in Nanyuki. Now, Sotet Kinyumbani has a unique touch to it. They actually serve Kenyan local food. And by local, I mean they including mursik is being served at Sotet Kinyumbani. Their food is so natural. It is so amazing and tasty. They actually run a farm, so they get everything from their farm, which is organically grown. Sotet Kinyumbani, if you're down in Nanyuki and you're looking for a place to have your lunch or your dinner, then you need to drop down at Sotet Kinyumbani. It is beautiful down there. And the decor is also quite African. I love it. I love it at Sotet Kinyumbani. And then you're welcome to the Growth Grid Mentorship Program, which is starting next week on 5th of February. Now, this is for HR professionals who are looking to move to managerial positions. So we'll be taking you through HR audits, how to set up a HR department, policies. We are going to take you through budgeting, reporting, performance management, discipline, and employee separation. And we are going to have a certification for you. So join us if you haven't booked already. This is an amazing session run by myself and my colleague, Anne. And I'm telling you, you will never be the same. You will need to create better HR professionals and HR professionals who are ready to take on management positions. And then we are also inviting you to our webinar, which will be a paid webinar. It is happening on Thursday, 20th of February from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. And we will be discussing protection of wages, navigating legal landmines. How do you navigate protection of wages? When you demote somebody, are you allowed to what do we call it? Reduce their salary. If you actually promote them, how much can you interfere with a person's salary? What about their third rule? How does it apply? And this is open to all East Africans. So if you're here, don't wonder whether this is for Kenyans only. No, this is open to all East Africans. We have Peter Kenyanjui, who delivers for all of us, and he's an amazing speaker. If you've joined any of our sessions, you know this is gonna be lit. So please join us. It's only for 2,800, and this will be on 20th of February. Please sign up, and the details will be shared with you. At this point in time, I don't know whether Fred, you're ready, but we want to understand about personal pension scheme. Now, a lot of people, and part of why we're having this conversation is because whenever I'm interacting with individuals who, especially nowadays, we're giving people contracts, and most organizations are also not giving pension because, I mean, NSSF is about to hit an all-time high. So having another pension scheme, and people are like, oh my God, how do I introduce pension to our organization? Or how can I do it by myself? Because at the end of the day, retirement is for you and for you alone. You're not gonna go with your organization. And again, if you're running an SME, how can you be able to have a pension scheme for your 5 employees that you can also take advantage of the results that come with having a pension scheme? So with us is Fred Waswa. Fred Waswa is the director at Octagon Financial Services. Fred is my very, very good friend. I think we've been with him since we started Get It Right in 2020, and he has spoken here on several occasions, and we are more than honored to have him tonight. Fred, how do we then engage in as individuals to run pension schemes?
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. I'll see if I can try to share my screen. If it comes as slides, maybe you'll forgive me. Again, my let me see if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Okay. I think I will want to start from just trying to help us understand what is why do we even save for retirement, because that's the starting point, especially the people who are saving for in a personal pension plan. Will be people who are self-employed, who are maybe working today, they leave employment, they move on to doing business, and they want to start continue saving for their retirement. So why do we need to do this? Ideally, saving for retirement is critical, and I say this because whatever we earn today, must be put aside as part of the income that we'll get at a time when we're not able to earn anything. Because at one particular time in our lives, whether you're running a business, whether you are employed, at one particular time you'll not have enough energy to do what you're doing today. So which means when you don't have enough energy, you need to be able to have organized your finances to the extent that they can provide for you an income that is you are able to live on without necessarily you working, because you're not be able to work. I know that when I talk about saving for retirement, people always say, no, look here, I'll build a house, or I'll build an apartment, or whatever it is, buy an apartment and start getting revenue from it. Yes, a fantastic thing. But you don't put all your eggs in one basket. You try to make sure that you have spread your risk across, diversify your incomes in retirement to the extent that when you get to retirement, you are telling yourself, I have an income that comes from pension, I have an income that comes from rent, I have an income that comes from interest on bonds. Those three incomes are critical. The pension income will never stop it will overlive you. So that's what we always say. Pension income will overlive you in this form, that you will be paid until death. So they report that you have died, the pension will come in the next month, because you have that month has already been arranged. So it will overlive you. It's an income that you don't work for. You wake up in the morning, go on the wall, put your card in the ATM card, and you get your cash and go and eat what you want to do. That's a bit about pension. You don't need to work at all for it. The rental income, of course, is critical, is good enough for you. It's able to provide you an additional income for your retirement. But remember, the rental income can actually stop by you not having a tenant, or by the property you are basically using to get rent has gotten much older, and therefore it's not getting as attracting as good tenants as you used to do. Because I again go back to this and say, I know people, I know guys have come into my office and they tell me, Fred, life expectancy in East Africa, in Africa, is about 45, especially in East Africa, is about 45. And the person who's talking to me is about 51. And I say, you should have died at 45. you know so if you are still living at 51 and live a life expectancy is 45, then know that you may actually go to live up until 80 years old. So if you retire at the age of 60 and God gives you grace to live until the age of 85, you have 25 years ahead of you to live. Now, if you bought your apartment when you are 45 and you start renting it out, by the time you get to 85, the apartment is 40 years old. That apartment is worn down to the extent that the income you get is much less, or even the location of the apartment itself cannot be able to allow you to get better income. So what is it that you were supposed to be doing is diversify incomes in retirement, so that you have a pension, you have an income from rental, you have an income from bonds. Income from bonds is critical, is important, because bonds gives you an income twice a year and slightly more lump sum. So they don't give you monthly, they give you 6 months income as one. What does it do? It helps you to pay large outflows out of your expenditure, out of your P&L. So in your expenditures, you have things like motor vehicle insurance, you have things like medical insurance, which come once in a year, which can be paid out of your income that comes from bonds. So if you organize your life that way, you live well. So that's why we encourage people that they should be able to save for retirement. They should be able to save a pension, an income that you'll be able to get at retirement. Grace. So the personal pension is basically one of the forms of saving for retirement. You know, there are three ways of saving for retirement. So of course you have occupational pension schemes, which are for companies. So a limited liability company or company set up or whatever it is, SACCOs or NGOs can set up their own scheme for their own employees. So people who are salaried, But this country is getting more and more to people who are not salaried at all. So guys wake up in the morning, and especially so young people, they are going on the internet and start working, and they work for 5 years, for 10 years. They are basically working on the internet, and they make money, and they make what good money. The question is that as we are working, we are wearing out our energies to be able to work. So the question is the income we are getting, setting aside part of that income to be able to help us in retirement? And that's why the Retirement Benefits Authority, which is the government authority, government regulator, then allowed organizations like Octagon Africa to be able to set up personal pension schemes, personal pension to help the individuals who don't have occupational schemes, who cannot be able to set up occupational schemes, or even for those small organizations like NGOs who have 2-3 employees and they cannot be able to set up their own scheme, can come through an occupational pension scheme, a personal pension plan, or can come through what we call an umbrella fund. Now, the umbrella fund is for SMEs. The occupational schemes are for large corporates. And then we have the personal pensions for self-employed and individuals that do not necessarily have have a regular income. So the beauty about a personal pension is that okay, I always say it's one of the biggest advantages is that it's flexible. You can get in and get out. So you can save for 5 years, for 10 years, and say, hang on a bit, I'm done. Give me back my money. So the law will allow you to get back your money. Unlike, of course, in an occupational scheme where there are restrictions, you can only get 50% of the benefit you have saved at any time you'll be able to exit the organization. In a personal pension plan, you can be able to exit at any time. We don't encourage that because you need to have this as a saving for retirement, for long-term savings, as a long-term asset. So what happens is that the personal pension plan, you are allowed to be able to state your retirement age all the way to 75. So you can decide to say my retirement age will be 75, and I'm going to be saving 2,000 shillings or 3,000 bob a year or 4,000 bob a year. The minimum saving is around normally 2,000 shillings a month. A month. So you can decide to say I'm going to be saving 2,000 shillings a month or 3,000 shillings a month, and you save until you are age 75. And 75, you can access your good money, and which means you can buy a good annuity, a pension. All the schemes that operate are what we call defined contribution. Now, I may be getting into a bit more of technicals, but what we call defined contribution. What it means is that you bring your contributions together. They are able to be invested. Income is earned, and what you get is cash lump sum. And that cash lump sum, we work with the insurance company and say, we have a cash lump sum of 20 million shillings this guy has saved. We want to buy a life annuity. A life annuity, which means that once we give them 20 million, they give you 220,000 Kenya shillings per month for life.
Fred, the
So
slides
that
are not
becomes
moving.
your. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. The slides are not moving.
No, I'm yet to get the slides. I'll move very shortly. I'll move very shortly.
Okay.
So
All right.
so the idea is to help us to understand what are the principles of saving for pension. And they are okay, again, and I just want to have all these myths dealt with. Pension, when you save, you don't get paid. My grandfather saved and never got paid. Now, these are private pension plans. Private pension plans are driven by efficiency and effectiveness. So what happens is that when you save, you are able to get your money within 30 days of the time you apply for your benefit to be paid. That is the bit about private pension schemes. And that's why the government set up a regulator in 2007 to regulate private pension schemes so that we can have savings more. And that's when savings increased. In the year 2000, the market had only 120 billion assets in Kenya. Can't remember what it was in Uganda. But by the time we are speaking today, we have 2 trillion assets under pension schemes. Why? It's because of the confidence that basically was created by the Retirement Benefits Authority to regulate an industry and make sure that people are comfortable knowing that when they save, they will get their pension. So I assure you that when you save for the next 20 years, for the next 30 years, you will definitely get paid. This is not NSSF. Sorry, I'm not saying that NSSF is bad. It has its own challenges, but hopefully it will get better. But NSSF, this is not NSSF. These are personal pension plans that basically are regulated by RBA, and you will be able to get your money. The second thing that I need to talk about before I go to the product itself, which is our personal pension plan, is personal pension plans compete with different savings plans. For example, money market. There are money market unit trusts that have been competing with the personal pension plans. We have insurance products like endowment insurance plans, which compete with the personal pension plans. And the normal bank account savings products that compete with the personal pension plans. But there are advantages for personal pension plans. There are advantages for person against these other products. The main one is tax. The main one is tax. The main one is tax is that if you save your money in a personal pension plan, then what happens is that you are allowed to the contribution that you have done, you have put in a personal pension plan, is given tax relief. Now, the government in Kenya increased this year that tax relief from 20,000 per month to 30,000 per month. So you can save 30,000 Kenya shillings in a personal pension plan, and it will not suffer pay. So, for example, if you are in a small in a small SME and you really want to save for personal pension, you can be able to do that. And when you are running a payroll, then you have, let's say, 50,000 Kenya shillings a salary, and you are saving 20,000 Kenya shillings. That 20,000 is removed from your 50,000. The taxable pay is 30,000. So you are saving PAYE on 20,000 Kenya shillings. Now, KRA has said that can go all the way to 30,000 Kenya shillings. You know, I know Uganda has personal pension plans. Incidentally, we don't have a regulated environment in Uganda for personal pension plans, but they are regulated under umbrella funds. So it comes through in the umbrella fund as a participating employer. So we create as a service provider like us, we have created a personal pension plan in the umbrella, in our octagon umbrella, because umbrella schemes in Uganda have a regulated environment, and then you are able to save in there. Uganda, you don't have tax at the start in terms of contributions. Income is of course taxed, but the benefit is fully tax free, so that you're not taxed at all at the time you get your benefit. Now, Kenya has gone even much higher from this year. Is that when you save in a retirement benefit plan, you have 30,000, which is tax free. Income is not taxed. And when it comes to the benefit being paid out, that benefit is also not taxed at all. At all. As long as you have saved for 20 years, or you have been in a scheme for 20, or you have been you are retiring at normal retirement age. So either you are in a scheme for 20 years, or you are retiring at normal retirement age, or early retirement, or ill health, then you get all those tax advantages. So these are the advantages of saving in a personal pension plan. If you saving in other products, if you save in the money market, there is tax that is applied on your income that you get from money market. If you save on an insurance product, the maximum on insurance that you can be able to get as tax free is only 5,000 shillings per month. It's quite much less compared to a pension scheme, which is 30,000 shillings per month. So you are better off in a personal pension scheme when you are saving. So a little bit about Octagon Africa. We are an award-winning leading financial services company. We set up ourselves in 2007. We're getting 18 years in this in next month, February, and we are in Kenya. We're in Uganda. We are in Zambia. We provide pension services. We do administration. We do pension administration, and under there we have umbrella funds. We have an IPP, what we're calling a personal pension plan. We have income drawdown funds. We have a PRMS, which is the post-retirement medical retirement funds. We have trust funds. We have corporate trustee, corporate principal officers, administering assets in excess of 1.2 billion in terms of US dollars. In terms of assets, of course we have over 200,000 members. In terms of insurance broking, then we have actuarial services, and we do training and a company called in Institute of Pension Management. So the outline of a personal pension plan is it has a governance structure. Now, because we need to understand, if we want to save in a personal pension plan, how does it operate? We need to understand how the personal pension scheme operates, so that you know that you are saving in a platform that basically is safe, and a platform that is easy for you to get in and get out. So there's a governance and benefit structure in that respect. So you have a board of trustees. So usually you'll have a corporate trustee as a board of trustees. And in Kenya, we have our corporate trustee is Kenya Commercial Bank. In Uganda, we have a corporate trustee for our umbrella fund, which basically provides under in there you have a personal pension plan. Of course, we are not in Zambia in Tanzania yet because Tanzania has challenges of pension in terms of opening up because of the large contribution that they have to go into the 4 schemes that are set up by the government. Then you have what we call custodians. A custodian in a personal pension plan is a bank. So when you make your contributions, the contributions don't go to the trustees. They don't go to KCB. They go to a custodian. The custodian is a legal entity that is registered by the regulator. For us, our custodian is Standard Chartered Bank. And Standard Chartered Bank receives contributions. When you make your contribution, you send it to a custodian, Standard Chartered Bank. And the fund manager is advised by the bank, told that you will have received contributions of 1 million. Please look for where you can invest. So once the fund manager has invested, the fund manager brings reports to the administrator. The custodian brings reports to the administrator to say, we received this much money. The fund manager says, we have invested this much money. The administrator prepares accounts, both member accounts and financial statement accounts. So the member accounts is that each member has a statement which shows how much money has gone into that very particular statement per month, or per quarter, or per year. Because a personal pension, you can save anytime, any amount you want. You can make 1 contribution per year, or you can make 1 contribution per quarter, or you can make contributions every month. So, or you can make 1 contribution for every 3 years. You can say, I'm going to make 2 million shillings for every 3 years. The thing is that you need, for purpose of managing money laundering, we need to make sure that we know exactly, KYC, to know exactly where you are making money for us to be able to receive your money in a personal pension plan. But the administrator puts together, who basically is our role, puts together the accounts in terms of what assets now we have, which have been invested in, what income has been received, and what expenses have been used to be able to manage those assets. Then the auditor comes in to audit the audited accounts for that very particular account. Then we issue statements to members. Now, we will, when members receive statements, then they are able to, if they have any query, they are able to bring up a query. If they have any challenge, they are able to query that, which becomes a critical bit. What's the role of an actuary? The actuary comes in to be able to determine, look at all the members we have in the personal pension plan, and look at the age profile, and determine what is the asset class that we need to invest in for these members. Because if we have members if we have 1,000 members and 800 of them are above the age of 50, then we should be investing in nearer cash assets, because soon they will be wanting to cash out their money because they're getting nearer retirement ages. So actually will tell us, you need to be able to have your assets more in near cash assets, like bonds, like fixed deposits. But if you have 1,000 members and 800 of them are below the age of 35, then you have members that have long-term in terms of horizon. So which means that we can invest in long-term assets like equities or properties. So the actuary comes in to be able to prepare what we call an investment policy statement to help us understand how do we invest these assets to make maximum return, but at the same time manage risk, at the same time meet liquidity when the members leave and the members retire. So the actuary comes in to be able to help us in that very particular respect. So this is the structure for a personal pension plan. Now, all these parties are ideally regulated by the Retirement Benefits Authority. They are registered by the Retirement Benefits Authority. The Board of Trustees, which must be a corporate company, is regulated by RBA. The custodians are registered by RBA. The fund managers are registered by RBA. Administrators are registered by RBA. Auditors, of course, they're not registered by RBA, but they are required to have been registered by ISPAC, and actuaries are registered by RBA. So these are the parties that come through in a personal pension plan. So the role of an administrator I've mentioned is handles administration of the scheme, including documentation and then amendments to the scheme documents, compute and pay benefits and their beneficiaries directly, and communicate regularly to the members. So what happens in terms of communication, you will have an AGM for members. Members will have an AGM once every year to be able to help them understand how their scheme is operating. And usually, since COVID, we have learned that the easiest way, the best way is basically to have an online AGM than to have, because like for us, we have members who are spread across the world. There are members in the United States contributing into a personal pension plan. So we need to make sure that each person has an opportunity to be able to hear. So we have an online AGM, and members log in and learn how their scheme is operating. And then, of course, we also, on a quarterly basis, we do clinics, what we call pension clinics. Clinics are engaging members on various subjects of the pension. We could engage members on income on their, on annuities, on income on their pensions, on nomination of beneficiaries, things that basically they need to know and organize themselves, or, things like contributions, so they understand that they can actually increase their contributions and therefore increase their benefit in this particular instance. So we do quarterly pension clinics that help members in terms of the communication. So then, of course, we attend meetings with the corporate trustee and ensure audit of the scheme is done, and of advisory and training services, and maintain accurate data for the members. Now, our scheme is for, as I mentioned, is for self-employed people and employees in organizations that do not operate occupational pension schemes, because there are people in the companies that don't have occupational pension schemes. Now, basically, to be able to say today, schemes, saving for retirement has become sort of like a compulsory benefit by the employer to provide to the employee for an employed company, for an employer. Why? Is because of the NSSF. NSSF has been restructured to the extent that have increased contributions. So therefore, every employer is saying, look here, how do I manage these increased contributions? And the law, RBA has said, you can opt out of NSSF, and be able to save in a private pension scheme, like an umbrella, like Octagon umbrella, to be able to operate on an occupational basis. So therefore, your employees and yourself can save the NSSF contributions in an occupational pension scheme without necessarily sending it to NSSF. So NSSF will not receive what we call tier 1 contributions. So that's what we do. So to enable self-employed or employers with organizations that do not operate occupational pension schemes, as mentioned, and also enable an employer with fewer employees. So very few people, less than 10, can come through in a personal pension plan and be able to do that. So of course you can withdraw, and you can also continue saving, which is important. It is the beauty about a personal pension plan. It offers a pooling advantage that you are able to get many members. We have over 5,000 members in the scheme, and those members pool their contributions together. And there are some who just basically transfer their pension from different schemes, because most young people, especially today, they work for maximum 3 to 5 years in one organization, they move to another organization. So every place they are moving from, they are leaving what we call deferred benefits, because they can't be allowed to take 100%. So we encourage consolidation of those benefits in a personal pension plan. So every time you move, you are consolidating in one account, and therefore at the time of retirement, you have one account to be able to use to buy your monthly pension. Okay, this arrangement presents the following benefits. Of course, the pension contributions enjoy tax exemption. I've told you it's up to 30,000 now, it's gone up from 20,000 shillings. Contributions are flexible depending on your financial ability. There's nobody's going to chase you and say you have stopped, so therefore you will do something. For example, in insurance, there's what we call lapse of a policy. So if you take a policy of 10 years in insurance or 15 years in insurance, and you pay for less than 3 years and you stop, the policy lapses and you lose your money. If you pay for more than 3 years, the policy surrenders, and if you get a surrender value, it's much less than what you have put in. In a personal pension plan, whatever you put in is what you get. And you can put in and stop for 2 years because you have gotten a challenge in your financial life, then start afterwards, then start again. So you can basically save in bits as you move on your journey of your finance life. Your contributions are easy to make through deductions from your salary. If you are a salaried person, debit M-Pesa. We are using more M-Pesa these days, and we've integrated with every kind of M-Pesa, so you can be able to use M-Pesa to be able to save. We have an app, so you can get onto app and sign up on the app at Octagon Africa. If you go to your app, and you are able to your phone, you can able to download Octagon Africa app, and you can sign up on the app as a member of a personal pension plan, and you get the details of M-Pesa, which you can be able to save. Now, people will say, what will the scheme earn? What interest will I get from the scheme? Interest is important, because every time you are saving, if we don't give you interest that is sufficient enough, what we call inflation eats your money for breakfast. So what happens by the time you wake up for dinner, you have no money completely, it's gone. And that time is when you need money more. So what do? We, together with our fund managers, together with our custodians and the actuaries, we try to make sure that we seek for better investment opportunities to maximize returns as much as possible. So you find returns of ranging between 8 to 12 to 13%. Sometimes it goes to 15%, depending on how the markets are performing. But the returns are basically usually will be above inflation, and just to make sure that you are getting real returns on the funds. These returns are declared at the end of every year. When we have done the financial statements and audited them, and then we created the member statements. And when the members go to their app, they can be able to check their statements, or they go to the web based, they can check their statements, or do an SMS, they are able to check their statements. So provides various flexible payments to a member at retirement. So at retirement, as I mentioned, when you get to retirement, you have an option to decide you are getting this money as a lump sum, you are getting this money as a monthly pension, you are getting this money as an income drawdown. Now, I have done this for 34 years, and I always tell people that please never get your cash from a pension plan as lump sum in retirement. It is so tempting. It's so temptingly free money that you will do not know how that money disappears in another 5 to 10 years. And God gives you another 20 years to live, and you have no money at all, at all, at all. And I have seen examples and examples and examples who have come in my office, cried, said, look here, I'm going to do business, please give me money. You give them lump sums, and in a couple of years, you meet them on the street, they give you a story that is very, very sad. So I always say, take it. You have 10 million shillings, take some 5 million, go and do your risks taking businesses. Take 5 million shillings, go and get an annuity or a monthly pension or an income drawdown of about 50 or 55,000 Kenyan shillings per month. So in the event that 5 million you have gone to play around with goes under belly up, you are sure of getting an income in retirement, because you don't have another opportunity to raise that 10 million in the future. You don't. Even if you decided that now you're going to work so hard, the younger people are working more harder, so the competition is more stiffer. So therefore, you will not have energy to do what you are doing when you are 25. So remember that payments are done at retirement, but remember that payment should be done in regular payments rather than lump sum payments. I know that the market in Uganda, in annuity market, has not grown much. But there is one or two insurance companies which are doing annuities in Uganda. Please look for it. It may be expensive. For 5 million Kenya shillings in Kenya, may purchase 50,000. In Uganda, 5 million equivalent may purchase maybe 40,000. But still, it's an amount that you can live on for life. For life. The other thing we're encouraging Uganda more is that if you don't want an annuity completely, then we can plan for you income from bonds. So we schedule bonds to the extent that they start giving you a monthly income. So every 6 months, a bond gives you interest. But every month we invest every month to extend that every six months of one bond gives you interest. So if you invest the bond in January, some money in January, some money in February, some money in June, when you start in July, interest will come in July, interest will come in August, that way, and then January again interest. So you end up having a regular income from the government out of the bonds that you have. The risk of having bonds alone is that bonds, you can sell them on a secondary market. And if you want to protect yourself from yourself, because yourself can destroy yourself, you can wake up in the morning and feel like, hang on a bit, I just want to go for a holiday. You will sell your bond, go for a holiday, and come back, and you have no pension to live on, and there you are, you need money. But a monthly pension, once you buy an annuity, you can't cancel it. You can't cancel it. So it's an income that you should be able to look at in that way. An employer can contribute on behalf of the employee in a personal pension plan, and then accumulated funds, of course, and income, as I mentioned at that very particular point. Nomination of beneficiaries is critical. It's very important that when you sign up for personal pension, please make sure that you provide nominations. It is people sometimes tend to feel, okay, it's simple. It's a human that we don't think we will die. When we see other people who have died, we think, oh, that is theirs. That is their problem. That hiyo ni kazi, hiyo ni misiko yako, that is their challenge. But ultimately we will die, and unfortunately we don't know when we will die. And when we die, we leave problems behind by who is going to take care of our assets. Now, a pension from a retirement benefit scheme, whether personal pension, whether occupation, which is company scheme, or umbrella scheme, whether in Kenya or Uganda, cannot be part of an estate by law. By law. So what does that mean? It means that even if you wrote a will and decided that you are putting in your will that my pension will be paid so and so, that cannot be executed. You must come into the pension plan and do what we call nomination of beneficiary writing. So you must nominate a beneficiary, write and say a will in a pension scheme, in quotes, a will in a pension scheme, which says, I, so and so, when I die, I want this benefit paid to so and so, who is so and so in my life, you get it, or to pay to these people in these percentages, so that the trustees, the people who need to make decision in the event you are dead, have the opportunity to make the right decision. Otherwise, trustees are seen in the form of judges. They will sit down and make a decision on who to pay, and they will decide who to pay based on who has brought documents before them that look genuine. Now, unfortunately, in East Africa, I've done a lot of business in these countries, and Kenya, Uganda. The genuine documents are far apart. Getting them is quite a challenge. You will get original death certificates, which are from five women who are chasing money from one husband who is dead. So then the trustees have to make a mind and say, no, who is the correct the beneficiary? So we must ask ourselves, are we doing nomination of beneficiaries? Additional voluntary contributions for those ones who are in occupational pension schemes. Now that in Kenya, the tax bracket has been increased from 20 to 30, we're encouraging you to do additional voluntary contributions to save on tax. There's no need of sending money to KRA, and yet you can be able to have that money in your pocket. So increase your contribution, reduce your PAYE, and then you are safe in that very particular space. Benefits access, ill health, you can access your benefits and on ill health retirement, immigration, transfer of benefits, death, and of course, conduct in terms of your trustees. Now, this is mostly occupational pension schemes and umbrella funds, but a personal pension scheme, you can access your benefit anytime. You can wake up in the morning and say, I'm done. Please give me my money. And your money will have to be given because there is no law that stops you getting your money from a personal pension plan. As I get towards the end, the process, our personal pension plan is basically online. So you are able to go online on the app or on the on the web and apply for the benefits. When you go on our website, there is an icon there for member accounts, and you are able to say, click on it and put your credentials and apply for your benefit. And it goes through the whole process through until you get the fund manager, and you get the fund manager approved, custodian approved, and we get the benefit paid. I think I've talked about this income replacement. Of course, for those who are, we're talking about, for example, we're talking about those who are employed, income replacement ratios. If you are retiring on a salary of 100,000 Kenya shillings for Kenya, and 3 million Uganda shillings in Uganda, you need to be at least accessing a pension that is at least 70% of that amount at retirement. If you're getting much less, you're going to struggle. Now, unfortunately, the average across the three countries, the average income replacement is something like about 22%. So people earning 100,000 Kenya shillings in Kenya, they end up getting 22,000 Kenya shillings as a monthly pension, and in Uganda they end up getting maybe about 660,000 shillings. So we are far off in terms of saving for retirement. And this afternoon, I've just been discussing with the team in government in Kenya about the culture of saving. It is. We just need to change that culture of saving. And one way of changing culture of saving is helping people to be able to drive them into saving into personal pension plans, and maybe through involuntary schemes. So if you are a boda, you ride a boda, how do we make sure that you are saving for retirement? You get it, because boda is an occupation, and people run and people drive boda for 5, for 10 years, for 15 years. Yeah. If you are a taxi driver, an Uber, you're doing Uber and you go to Uber for another 20 years. When you get there and you are tired, you need an income to rely on. So what is that income that you rely on at that particular time? So an annuity, is an income that is given to you from an insurance company. That I think I don't want to go into the details. I think this is just an example of an annuity, and this is an income drawdown. I've talked about income drawdowns and futures, regulatory environments. That's right. Key considerations is for income drawdown. So thank you very much. I think I can get questions and answers. Sorry, Grace, I've taken quite some time.
Yes, you have, Fred, but that's okay. And your slides still did not move, but nonetheless, I am sure the message is home. So we can take a few questions. Yeah, there's somebody who asked, what is the difference between personal pension and money market fund?
Okay, personal pension. Okay, let me start with money market fund. Money market fund is a unit trust. A unit trust is a collective investment scheme, what we call a CIS. A scheme that is put together by a fund manager or whatever, an investor, and registered by Capital Markets Authority to go out and collect money from the public and invest that money in various instruments in the country, then give returns to the members. Now, what happens with the money market is that all of us, we start putting in money. So I put in 1,000, I put in 500, I put in 10,000, I put in 500,000 shillings in a money market. That collection of funds is unitizing. Bring them into a unit. Then the fund manager invests. When they invest, the income is declared on that asset. So today, the asset is 1 million, contribution all contribution at 1 million. When tomorrow we wake up in the morning, we go and value our assets, value our bonds, value our equities at 1.1 million shillings. So we've got a return of 10%. So the person who comes tomorrow to buy a unit in that very particular unit no longer buys unit at 1 shilling, buys that unit at 1 shilling, 1.1 shilling, because it has gone up. That's how a unit trust operates. A personal pension plan is a savings plan that is set up by organization regulated by the RBA, and the scheme is regulated by the Retirement Benefits Authority for purely saving for retirement. Purely saving for retirement. A money market, you can decide to do short term, so which means you can decide to do you can decide to say I'm going to invest to get a wedding done at the end of this year. So you pack money in the money market fund, they give you interest every month. End of the year, you take your money and run away. That's what money markets are supposed to do. Short-term investments. Personal pension is supposed to be long-term. So we encourage people to do long-term assets and also short-term assets, because you need money, of course, in the short term, but you also need money in the long term. In the next 10 years, in the next 15 years, you need money. That's where personal pension plans come through. The other difference is in tax. Money that you invest in personal pension is tax-free. Now, for those ones who are self-employed and don't have a payroll, you do returns to KRA. When you are making returns to KRA, you declare that you have saved in a personal pension plan 600,000 Kenya shillings, and your income is 1 million. Ideally, 600,000 is supposed to be a cost, but what they will do is they will not take it as a cost because it's tax-free. So it's given tax relief. So your profits, the taxable profit, the taxable income reduces when you pay money in a personal pension plan. Yeah, and that, because I can explain that in detail. We can always have one-on-one on that. Yes. Yes, Grace.
All right. Yes. And then there is a question that I want you to combine because of time. How safe is a personal pension schemes? Because I hear in the streets people say, I can't trust the pension or insurance. Where do we stand on this issue? And then there's another question from an anonymous attendee. Which insurance firms do you recommend?
Okay. How safe? I say any pension scheme, whether it's a personal pension scheme or a company scheme, is the safest scheme ever. Why? Is because safety comes into making sure that there's diversification in service providers. Yeah, service providers. That there's no one service provider that provides service to a personal pension plan. The trustee, the fund manager, the custodian, the auditor, these are different parties that provide service to a scheme. So there's no way they can collude to come and take away your money. And that's why I said from the year 2000, there has been increased interest in saving for retirement because people see there is safety in their savings plans. And that's why the push was to bring NSSF into this very particular regulation. Because previously NSSF used to have fund manager inside, custodian inside, administrator. But I think about 10 years, NSF cannot do fund management on its own, cannot do custodian. The abuse of the funds has reduced. So they are extremely safe in that you are able to know that your money is, if you are saving with the Octagon personal pension plan, for example, we will give you the product you will sign up for the product. When you pay contributions, they go to a bank, which is Standard Chartered Bank. The fund manager, is Sanlam, and Sanlam will be able to do the investments. And the custodian is Standard. The corporate trustee is KCB. So you find that each of these parties have a party to play, and they don't play all the parties, all the process. So you find that your money is safe, is extremely safe, because of spreading the services to different service providers. Very, very safe. The regulator, they are all regulated by Retirement Benefits Authority, which is a government authority, which does checks every year on every scheme. Yeah. Which insurance company do I recommend? I recommend Octagon Personal Pension Plan. I recommend Octagon Personal Pension Plan. And there are very many personal pension plans. If you go to the RBA website list, there are all personal pension plans that are listed. Just go to the website, all personal pension plans. But we recommend that we are the best. We basically do this across 3 countries in Africa. We have and our personal pension plan is over 1 billion, 1.2 billion in assets, over 5,000 members that are saving in a personal pension plan. So you are able to get there. Yeah.
All right. Allow me to ask you, if you have a question, please post it on the Q&A so that I don't miss out. I can see a number of questions on the chat. Kindly put them on the Q&A. It's easier for me to follow through. And then there's also a question, Fred,
Yes.
where they are asking, and I'm going to combine 2 as well. Can you open a pension plan for 5 years only? And again, can you view your account at any time? And can you get your money before maturity?
Can you run a pension account for only 5 years or whatever? As I mentioned, you can join a personal pension. You can open a personal pension account today, save for 1 year, and close it and get your money. So it has no term limit in saying you must do it at 4 years or 3 years. Not like insurance policy, as I mentioned. Insurance policy, you can't get one in this market less than 10 years. A personal pension plan, you can go in and say, I'm only saving for 5 years. I have an objective to meet. I'm only saving for 5 years. And then you are able to exit. Can you, what was the other question?
Can you view your account at any time, and can you get your money before maturity?
You can view your account at any time. It's on the web. It's an online platform, so you can be able to view your account anytime, and at maturity, you get all your money. At maturity, you will be able to get all your money. And maturity is just what you determine what maturity is in a personal pension plan. You can decide to save, say your retirement age is 60, but you start saving at 40, and when you get at 45, you get a challenge. You come and say, I want to access my money. You'll be allowed to access your money. The law does not allow us to restrict, like in a company scheme. A company scheme, you are restricted. You can only access when you retire or when you leave the organization.
All right. And then Herbert is asking, is this product, personal pension scheme, available in Uganda? And what are the options available? And then is it possible to access the same products in Kenya?
Yes, we have a personal pension scheme in Uganda. We branded it Sendeyo. It's basically we're attracting a lot of interest for that Sendeyo scheme. And it is in our umbrella fund. And ideally, people are bringing money from their occupational scheme. So people who are leaving companies, if you leave Bank of Africa, or you leave Bank of Uganda, you have some money you want to put aside, you can push it through Sendeyo. It's our personal pension plan. Then we are able to invest. And our fund managers are Sanlam. We also have Gen Africa as fund managers, as fund managers. So, and and in Kenya, of course, we have a personal pension plan. In Zambia, we have a personal pension plan. As I mentioned, we don't operate in Tanzania because Tanzania has certain restrictions on pension, which do not allow us to basically freely operate.
And I think it's important that we clarify that pension schemes are not only run by insurance companies. I think there is pension and there is insurance. Of course, you can have both, but yeah, anyway.
Correct. They are we in 1999 we had this battle with insurance companies because insurance companies don't know what to do. They don't know how to run pension schemes. Insurance companies know how to run insurance products, which life insurance, ordinary life, and endowment policies and other insurance products. Yeah.
Yes.
So
yeah.
what RBA did is to register other companies like Octagon Africa, administrators Octagon Africa, to set up personal pension schemes, umbrella schemes that would provide services just as insurance companies would do. But because we are professionals in pensions, you'll be able to get a professional service, unlike in insurance where they will give you a service because you are one of them. Well, their interest is in insurance, not necessarily in pension. Sorry, if there's an insurance person here, with due respect.
There's Max Motetu is saying, if I list the companies I have worked for, can your company do the work of consolidating these funds on my behalf? And what do you require for me to provide you with for the exercise?
We can consolidate all your pension around the world, including UK. You get it. And what you need to do is just write to us. Yeah, write to us info@octagonafrica.com, and we will give you documentation to sign. First of all, to open the personal pension account, and then once you have done that, we will give you letters to sign for those schemes where you are in, and we will get you will leave for us to do the job. We will get all the funds into the personal pension plan, and now you are able to view them on your platform.
Yes, and then we also have, is it a must you pay a fixed amount? And if one accesses their pension before attaining the age of 60 years, won't they lose because of the tax that is deducted?
No. First is not a must. I mean, if you okay, is it a must you pay a fixed amount? That was the question.
Yes, the first one is it a must you pay a fixed amount?
No.
Like if it's 5,000 or 20,000, it's continuously 20,000.
No. You can as I mentioned, personal pension, you can pay 1,000 today. Tomorrow you get a windfall. You can bring 10,000. Next day you get a windfall. You bring 100,000. But if the windfall becomes 10 million, then we ask where the money has come from. So there are certain levels of amounts that we have flagged, so that we are able to make sure that we are not money laundering. But you can increase, you can reduce anytime you want. When you access the money at 60, when you access your money at 60, you don't lose at any time. In fact, as long as you have saved money in the scheme 20 years, you get tax free. So if you start at 25, at 45 you want to access your money, and now it's maybe 5 million, we give you that money tax free, complete tax free. Get it? Tax free. So as long as you have done 20 years in a scheme, or you are above the retirement age. So normally we are, like in a personal pension plan, we're using early retirement. As long as you are above the age of 50, you are accessing your benefit without any tax at all.
All right. Monica is asking, as opposed to accessing pension, can the same be used as collateral to take a mortgage?
Yes. The RBA regulation allows you to use your benefit up to the maximum of 60% as collateral for a mortgage. Yeah, for a mortgage. This it's a product that was brought in maybe around 2011, 2012. But I tell you the truth, the uptake has been 0.05%. It's because the mortgage providers, the banks that do mortgage provision, have not taken this collateral and said, if you give me a security from a pension plan, then I give you either less interest or I allow you to repay over a shorter period or whatever it is. There's no advantage of giving collateral from a pension plan. So I mean, I tell members, you are just only making the bank happy that they have all the securities to be able to use to, in the event you default, they can come for the money. But there needs to be an advantage. Of course, we have pushed for this regulation to be amended, or a discussion between the regulator RBA and the Kenya Bankers Association to make sure that banks can be able to give aid when you give collateral. If you don't give collateral, you have 13% interest on your mortgage. If you give collateral, the interest comes down to maybe 10%. That way, people will be encouraged to be able to bring their monies into the banks as collateral. So yes, but it doesn't really give a lot of benefit.
All right. There's a question. Let's say an employer was giving a benefit, was paying a certain percentage for pension scheme. Then NSSF Tier 1 and 2 came. Okay, this is why I say, please, Lilian Mutungi, if you can put, I can't see that question. It's on the chat and it's my computer is hanging. So if you can put that question on the Q&A, it will be easier. And then there's Joyce Kasiria who is saying, apart from the risk of selling the bonds before they mature, what other risks are associated with bonds and how can this risk be mitigated?
Apart from the risk of selling the bonds before they mature, what other risks are associated with the bonds? Okay. When you buy a bond, let's say a 20-year bond, you expect that at 20 years, you'll be able to get your money. The only risk is because you are lending money to the government. The risk is the government being unable to pay back your money. You get it? Which is very narrow. So that risk is basically very, very narrow. That shouldn't be a blocker for somebody to invest in a bond. You get it? The risk in bonds is at the selling time. So you can wake up in the morning and sell the bond. As I mentioned, you can sell the bond. But the challenge also is that if you have a secondary market and you go and sell the bond, you sell this bond on the secondary market, you could actually sell it at half the price or half the value of the money you have. So you bought a bond of 100 million Uganda shillings, and it's giving you a rate of return of 12%. And or let's give you a return of about, let's say, let me use 18%. And in the next 2 years, the economy improves, and therefore bonds which are being sold then from primary market, from the primary, which is from the Bank of Uganda, which are being sold at 12%. You are holding a bond at 18%. You will definitely sell the bond at a very high price because it is sweeter. People want an 18% bond than a 12% bond. Now the other way around, you are holding that bond at 18%. The economy deteriorates, and the interest rates go to 25%. You can't sell that bond. If you sell the bond, you will sell it at half the price. So you lose out. So bonds are good for retirement, but once you lock in a bond in retirement, we always advise locking in up to the end of the term. So you are buying for a 20-year bond, hold it for 20 years. So the money you put in, you know that you are not going to access it. for 20 years, because then you are able to make sure that you only getting income, because income will not change. If it's 12%, it will be 12% through. Yeah. You are muted. You are muted. You are muted.
Oh, sorry. There's so many questions and we are running short of time. So allow me, guys, to just ask two more questions. And then for further questions, you can always get in touch with Fred so that he can clarify quite a lot for you. Lillian is saying, let's say your employer was giving a benefit, was paying a certain percent for pension scheme, then the NSSF Tier 1 and Tier 2 came up. The employer is not willing to give out any more money. So the employer decides to deduct the money he was paying for the Provident Fund to NSSF. Then the money the employer was paying to the pension scheme goes to zero. Now the employer is not ready to give any more money to the pension scheme. Can the employees who has gone to zero by employer opt out of the scheme and do individual payments, since even submitting the amount deducted from employee isn't submitted by employer on time, like having 3 to 4 months unsubmitted? What is the best way to handle this? Kindly help.
Now, this requires personal advice.
I think so.
Yeah.
Lillian, if you can get in touch with me, I'll give you Fred's number. Then you guys can have a conversation separate from this. And somebody is asking about your return rate for the last one, the last financial year, Fred.
The last financial, I think we did 9%. I think it should be about 8.9%.
All right. Yeah. So Monica Mukayange, I am not going to ask your question because I already asked your one. Allow me to take the last one in the interest of time. Yes, Lillian Mutongi, please get in touch with me. I'll link you up with Fred to be able to do that. And then, is there an age limit to start personal pension plan?
No, anytime. Anytime is good time to start. But if you start early, the better. When you are 40,
Yeah.
you start. Anytime it's good time to start.
All right. And then Esther is saying some insurance say that you can only access your fund only if you exit from employment. One feels hand-tied. I think, Fred, people are still confused. Maybe we should share out the other pension conversations we had, because there's a difference
Yes.
between what this is referring to, and I think that's what has also gotten Monica a bit confused. There is the personal pension plan, and then there is the other ones are called what and what, Fred?
Occupational
Yes.
pension plans.
Yes, occupational pensions plans, and all of them are being handled very differently. So
Correct.
I urge of you to actually look more into it so that you can be able to get more information. And Fred has shared his number, so allow me to just paste that. So my good people, I know these conversations can go on and on and on. We've been here for a while longer, and allow us to now call it a day. I will ask Fred to give us his final remarks so that he can be able to move on. But his number and his contact details are on the chat. Kindly get in touch with him. I've seen quite a number of also personalized questions that you wish to get. Please do that. And then I will also ask you to take advantage of these offers. With employers refusing to pay any more with NSSF Tier 1 and Tier 2 costs, I think it's up to you to now push forward to do your own individual pension. Because remember, like I said at the beginning, you will retire alone, my good friend, and your employer will not be with you. In fact, we love when you retire because even the cost for us is very cheap when it comes to employers. So I don't know whether you had anything, Richard?
Grace, that has been a wonderful presentation. The only thing I would like to tell Fred, when are we seeing your books? You can see the appetite for knowledge is high. 35 years of experience and all that needs to be documented. Thank you.
He
Thank
actually
you.
has a book, Richard.
Yeah. I have a book. I just need to make it online. These days things are online. But I have a couple of books. Grace, I should send them to you. You can send them out.
Yeah, I should be able to do that. And yes, he has written a couple of books on this matter. So you can also take them and make them part of your library in the office. Information is power, I keep saying. So Fred, your closing remarks, your parting shot?
No, I really want to appreciate you, Grace, for this opportunity. As always, you have been fantastic, and you're adding value to society and to humanity. And we pray that God may give you grace. And we thank everybody who joined this very particular platform. Let's engage and see how much we can be able to support in terms of people to save for retirement. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I think we need to sing this retirement song. There's so much to learn when it comes to retirement that you guys have no idea. So it's time to take advantage of these sessions. We've done quite a number of sessions with Fred. You can just go to our YouTube channel and look for Fred Waswa, and you'll see quite a number of sessions with him. Please follow us on Instagram, Tara Solutions, like our Facebook page, Tara Solutions. If you're not on a WhatsApp group, please click that link that's on your chat right now, and join our WhatsApp group and get to know what's happening on Get It Right with Atara Solutions. Get the whatever lessons we are learning on Atara Solutions instantly. From our WhatsApp group. Please join us and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We normally upload these recordings on our YouTube channel, so please subscribe. There's a lot of information there. I tell you, there's a lot of information that is quite life-changing. It is important. I think ignorance has no defense. So you need to learn as much as you can, and we have made that possible for you. The sessions are free. They are on YouTube. As you go to work, you can just listen in. As you continue with your work, you can just listen in, and I'm sure you'll get something here or there. So thank you very much, guys, for keeping it here. Get It Right with Atara Solutions. And we shall see you next week on Tuesday as we get into February with the more amazing sessions. And I'm actually looking forward to our Valentine's Week topic, which is going to be lit. And that one is quite exciting for me. So keep it here. Get It Right with Atara Solutions. Let a friend know that you've discovered some good things, and share the flyers as much as widely as you possibly can, so that, because we are on a mission to change the world through information, and I believe that information is power. So thank you very much, and have yourselves a lovely, lovely night. See you next week. Same time, same place. And don't forget to like and follow on our socials. We'll be more than happy to be a community of Get It Right with Atara Solutions. With that, thank you, Fred, for your time. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Catherine Sidandi. You guys are an awesome team. And of course, the entire team at Atara Solutions. We appreciate you, and see you next Tuesday. Good night.